Meeting to order, February meeting of Wildlife Fisheries and Parks Commission. Before we get started, I'm gonna ask Jason, if you would, open us up with a prayer, please.
Let us pray. Eternal God, our Father, Lord, we thank you for this day. Father, we thank you for your many blessings. We thank you for allowing us to make it here safely. We pray, Father, right now for our staff, for our commissioners, for our executive staff, and we pray that everything that we do on this day be done for your glory. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Jason. I forgot to welcome everybody, but as you well know, you're all welcome, so thank you for being here.
Minutes.
How about approving the minutes from the last, from our Cleveland meeting?
I'll make a motion to approve them.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion been made, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. The minutes have been approved. How about today's agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I think today's agenda is finally set the way it is, and we will need to go into executive session to discuss a matter on land.
Executive session for land purchases,
Land discussion anyway.
land
yes.
discussion, all right. All right, do we have a motion that we approve the agenda? Mr. Cook, what?
Yeah, make a motion.
Motion is made and second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. I understand we had someone scheduled for public comments, but he said he'd catch us at another time.
He's gonna join us in the next meeting.
All right, well, that'll be fine. All right, Jason, give us a good report.
Hey, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Our report for the month of January shows that our revenue is up 5%. Revenue from license sales are slightly up from last year, over $5,000. WMA permits are up 3%, and the senior exempt license are up 7% compared to last year. Non-resident license sales are up 4%, 7-day small game 8%, non-resident WMA permits 3%, and revenue from deer permits sold up $943,000 compared to FY22.
Now, what was that for?
Deer permits.
Deer permits.
Yes, sir.
That's the velvet antler permit.
Oh, there's that velvet, okay, that special season we had for the.
Yes, sir.
That weekend,
Yes, sir.
shoot the deer, the bow hunters want to shoot a deer in the velvet.
Correct.
Yeah, all right. That's something y'all doing at the moment.
And the permit category up 6%, and lifetime licenses are up 2% from last year. WMA app downloads for FY23, 11,392. That's 8,694 iOS users and 2,698 Android users. And license packages, 26,431 sold this year compared to 23,891 last year. Questions?
It just keeps getting better.
Just keeps getting better. The velvet deer permit has helped.
That helps.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure it did. Anybody, you got a question, Commissioner Munger?
No, on the velvet licenses, did you learn anything that gonna change for next year? On the licensing, the permits, or?
The licensing as far as the system. Oh, raise the fee.
No, yeah, because honestly, we've heard that comment from a lot of people that it's compared to other states, you know, for the opportunity. But I know we debated that.
Yeah, but from a system standpoint, it's run seamlessly. We haven't had anybody to have issues with it. It was implemented on time, so haven't gotten a lot of negative feedback.
That's great.
Thank you, Jason.
All right, thank you.
Angel, I had a good report on you. I got a text that you got selected as the tourist person of the year. or
Hometown
something.
hero.
Yes, sir.
Hometown hero. Well, good for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Go ahead, Angel.
Good morning, Chairman, Commissioners, Mr. Posey. Thank you for the opportunity to give a quick update on the complex this morning. So just wanted to share some numbers with you. Since opening our playground, we have had 121,000 visitors to our Phase 1A, so the playground. So just over a year of being open. We were also nominated as the Attraction of the Year for Visit Jackson. We did not win, but we're hopeful for next year. And we were nominated for the Best Park for Mississippi Magazine. So we're still waiting on that to see if we win. So we're excited for those 2 nominations. And just a little bit of revenue I've shared with you before. So we've started to work on our concession stand. So we've got our prepackaged items, and we're seeing about 13% of attendees are buying things from this concession stand. So we're looking forward to doing the full renovation, better signage, just better concession stand overall to increase that revenue. As you're aware, we opened the Den in September. So we've had probably almost every month full of birthday parties every weekend. So we're having really great success with people. The Den is directly across from the playground, so they can set up their birthday party and then let the kids go play on the playground. So that's really been great. We've made about $7,200. In the last couple of weeks, we've had some big community events reach out to us. So the Methodist Children's Home, they want to do their 5K walk, and the big breast cancer awareness walk. That'll bring in about 2,000 people. They're wanting to have their walk there at LaFleur. So a lot of great community events. And one thing that we're doing in April is called Moonlight Music and Meteors. We're actually having the symphony come out to the park, and we'll have local astronomy clubs with telescopes, and they'll be out there teaching kids about, NASA, and then the symphony will be playing. So we're just excited about this event, just something new and different at the complex. We're also going to launch here in March Spotters Adventure Club, and so they'll have different activities. It'll be once a month for families to come with their kids. One month we'll have a live animal, another month we'll be teaching them about archery, and you can see June, July, and August we will offer them early access to the playground 1 hour early on Sundays, and so that's kind of a big deal. So we're kind of excited to launch this Spotters Adventure Club. We feel like this is a great way to connect with young children and connect them to our agency. So we're excited about that. And as you're aware, we moved into phase 2. So last week we moved into the joint entrance. So this is the concept that I've shared with you before. And so we'll also in phase 2 come and do the museum trail. So that museum trail begins down at the Civil Rights Museum and actually runs through the Bellhaven neighborhood. Comes in front of the LaFleur's Bluff State Park, and this phase will take it through the golf course and connect it to Lakeland Drive. So that's what is in phase 2. We'll also have a more centrally located gatehouse that'll be in the center of our park, so moving it back. We've had some issues with visitors getting backed up onto that Museum Boulevard, so this will give us a little more breathing room there in the front entrance. So last week we had our groundbreaking. We were really happy to have Representative Kincaid there to support us. He's always there, helping us to bring out the gold shovels and cut the ribbons. So we had a great time. We had 3 different news stations there last week, great media, great press. And then once the gold shovels went away, we started construction. So the gatehouse.
Destruction.
That's right. So the gatehouse you can see, and then, that next morning we had gotten to work. And so you can see there on the right-hand side of the screen that, it is gone. The gatehouse has been demoed. So, and just a couple other construction photos for you. So the new trail, so we'll start that. So phase 2 we're looking to have done hopefully by July, and then we will be moving into phase 2B after that. So also in this phase, we are going to be doing, I had mentioned to you the last presentation that we received the Blue Cross Blue Shield additional funding. We're going to be doing some additional landscaping with that Blue Cross fund. So the Spotters Adventure Trail will be landscaped. And that front entrance will have kind of this grand boulevard. Once you come through that joint entrance, we'll have several different species of magnolias and native species, landscaping this area. So then we'll also have this beautiful mural added to the den. This is another thing that Blue Cross Blue Shield recommended, just to be a little more visible from the highway. Right now it just looks, a little, so we're just really excited about this. This should be, we're hoping in the next month we'll have this done. So just adding some more beauty to this area. So like I said, 2B, so after we get through phase 2, we'll come back in, and this is just kind of this green area. We're just gonna have an enhanced picnic area. We're gonna renovate the restrooms. We're gonna go ahead and renovate the concession stand. We'll be adding 4 pavilions, 1 large pavilion. So we're just trying to kind of come in and put those final touches on this area. New sidewalks, and just come in after all the construction is done and put those final touches on it. And then, of course, phase 3 is that Lakeland Bridge. So we're looking at this for 2025, and we have received that $1 million for the planning, and so we're just waiting on the funding for the actual bridge. So that is it for the complex. I just want to shift to some other things that I've been working on here at the agency. So this is kind of my day-to-day job, but I have also taken the lead on the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Initiative here for the agency. I am the Mississippi representative for the Minorities and Natural Resource Conservation for the Southeast. So we've been working with the bureaus across the agency just to work on some of our goals for this initiative. So we're looking at things like fostering belonging and empowerment at work, looking at marketing strategies for our diverse customers. We're really seeing kind of a shift, like just a conversation a couple of weeks ago that we had at Mississippi State. In the wildlife department, women are actually outnumbering the number of males in that department. So how we market to them and how we recruit them are just all things that we're taking into consideration. And so we're really working on some really great things for the agency as far as DEI work and a DEI plan. And yesterday I had the opportunity to meet with Alyssa, who you see here. She's 10 years old, and she actually just started walking at 10 years old. So I met with her and her mother, Brittany Greer. And Brittany is a part of, it's called Changing Spaces Mississippi. And she's working with Representative Crawford, and they have brought this House Bill 1048 to the legislature. It's passed out of the House, and they're just looking to create more inclusive restroom spaces for their families. And so about 1 in 3 individuals have a disability, 20% have mobility disabilities. And so what we are working with, I met with her and we walked around the playground. They live in Starkville. They come down for their doctor's visits, and they come to the playground, and they're just amazed because 72 of our playground structures are inclusive, 72 out of the 80. So they really have a great time. But she gave me some really good tips about just the inclusivity that we need to think about. So I took all of the notes and met with an architect yesterday afternoon, and we look forward to creating children, they need those lower sinks, lower toilets, and the universal changing tables when they're in these wheelchairs. So just things that we need to do to create that inclusive restroom facility, just so that we can meet the needs of all of our users. And so we'll be looking forward to making that happen. And another thing that is related to our DEI plan is we launched February 1st our internship program. So we would like to, improve that recruitment and improve our pipeline coming into the agency. We went ahead and put that out on social media. We had great feedback. We had over 400 shares on Facebook. The first 24 hours it just took off. And a lot of great positive comments about I wish this was around when I was in school. And so we've been really excited about that. I put the application in your binder, but it is also online. So it opened February 1st. It will close March 15th. And we hope to have our interns selected for the summer by April 15th. And so we have reached out to all career centers across the state. We are going to career fairs across the state. And we've also used this platform they call Handshake. It's where a lot of the college students will go to look for employment. So just wanted to share that with you. If you have any additional questions, please reach out to me. I'd be happy to help you. And if you know of anybody that wants an internship, let us know. And then the last thing that I've been working on is we have drafted a new career brochure. So this is still in draft. I don't think we've updated this since Andre Hollis had his first day at LaVoir's Bluff. So we've been working on that and getting, updated information and updated photos. And once we have that final draft approved by Mr. Posey, of course, I'll pass that on to you. I think it'll be a great tool for us to use for recruitment, and just information about the agency. And so, obviously, I think all of these initiatives are important to continue the great work that this agency does. You know, who's going to be the next Andre or the next Amy? Who's going to carry on the legacy of their work? And so I think these are all really great initiatives that the agency is doing. So thank you for your continued support of the complex and these initiatives of the agency. And I'll take any questions.
What kind of programs do they have at the Museum of Natural Science right now? Do they have, like, do they have some sort of stuff for kids now? Any particular themes going on right now?
We have our new exhibit, so it's the your
From here to there.
yeah, from here to there. So that's our traveling exhibit currently, and then we'll have our annual Nature Fest event coming up April 1st. So that's going to be going on, and lots of hands-on programs, lots of school groups. We were covered up yesterday. We had 4 buses from Madison, and we've had lots of school groups. So springtime just takes off.
And the Fossil Roadshow is March 4th, and that's a big event for us. People bring in fossils that they found around the state, and we have a big deal.
Are people using the trail between the museums?
Oh yeah, it's awesome. It is wonderful. Yep, they're loving it. So they'll come, they'll come to our museum and then use the trail, go to the children's museum or go to the playground, and they've got the concession stand. So yeah, it's really going great.
Yeah. Springtime's gonna be very busy, I bet.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then we're even getting people from the National Guard, like, they're out doing their PT and they'll come to the park and take the trail, and so it's great. It's getting a lot of great use.
Cool.
So
Yeah, that 100,000 plus people you've had there is just amazing.
yes, sir.
It's gonna just keep getting better.
Thank y'all.
Thank you,
I
Hazel.
appreciate it.
Good report,
Thank you.
appreciate it. All right, Brian Ferguson.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
No cool pictures from me, I'm sorry. Maybe next time. But also a lot of great things happening in state parks around the state. So just kind of want to give you a really quick update. I think one of the most important things that's happening right now, starting on March 1st, will be the first online reservation system goes live on March 1st. It'll be the first time in the last 15 years that we have a brand new system. So we're looking forward to getting that started. Hopefully our customers appreciate it. It's going to be an extremely robust system, and we're hoping it helps us in numerous things, particularly making reservations easier. The mobile application will go away, but the new reservation site we built it as a mobile-friendly site, so you can use it just at one platform. So it should make a huge difference in our ability to reserve rooms faster and communications back and forth with our customers. So they'll actually have a online registered account with the agency. We can send correspondence back to them for rooms and room reservations. And it has a really good marketing tool too, so we'll be able to collect some data for usage. We'll be able to use that data for more marketing, but we'll also be able to use that to correspond back and forth with all of our users as well. So that's one of the biggest platforms, online platforms coming up for us. The bids open over at Percy Quinn on January the 31st. So 9 of the 27 cabins there should be starting to be renovated over in the course of the next 3 months. So we'll end up shutting down those cabins and renovating them completely. We've also started working with the Mississippi Department of Archives and History on the CCC structures. So we're in a preliminary conversation with them on how we move forward across the state on renovating our CCC cabins.
Brian, where are most of those located?
They're in, I think, 6 different parks. I have to get the list, but
Well, I know Tishomingo.
Tish is one.
I'm trying to remember, I've been to a lot of the parks.
Percy Quinn has 18 of them.
Okay.
Paul B doesn't have any. Roosevelt has some, and several other ones. So I can get y'all a list of where those it's 63 total statewide.
We can't do anything until the archive people give us permission, or?
Right, we're working on, we're having conversations with them right now so that we can figure out exactly what we want to do. Of course, we want to preserve the history of the CCC, but also we want to have some cabins that we can actually rent at the same time. So we're trying to work together to figure out what's the best way to move forward to make sure that we preserve that history, but also have cabins that we can reasonably renovate for a reasonable cost. think one of the next big projects for us is our Wi-Fi project. One of the, we're in the conceptual design phase now of developing a wireless plan. First, we're gonna start down at Buccaneer. They have some infrastructure already in place there, but we're working statewide, both with EPAs and C-Spire to come up and figure out exactly what's the best course of action to implement Wi-Fi for our customers in our campgrounds and cabins and throughout the parks and some of those day use areas as well. That's the high notes. If you got any questions, let me know. Of course, I do owe you all the updated park list. I can get you that right after this. It'll show you all our projects and what phase they're in and where the completion status is for them all as well.
One quick on the reservations. Now, like I say, my family's been staying at the same park for 40 years. And every time when we start to leave, everybody wants to renew it for next year. But if some rule is you gotta wait a month after or 2 years, something, under this new system, when somebody gets ready to leave and they know that they wanna come back to the same park, the same time the next year, can they do it then while they're ready to, or if they go home, they forget about it?
We got a 13-month registration window, so you can come to the park today, and when you leave, but before you leave, you can register for the next year at the same time.
All right, well, it hasn't been like that. That's good.
That'll help out a lot. Any other questions?
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank y'all.
Josh, where's Josh? There he is. That ain't Josh. Jerry. But Josh. That's Brother Brown. I know who Brother Brown is.
Yeah, if I may, I'd like to introduce our new state lake coordinator to the commission. Josh Howell, he's been here since 2009 with the agency. Started out as a fisheries biologist up at the Northwest Mississippi, and then in 2013 he became a state lake supervisor over the North region. So he was recently promoted to state lake coordinator, a position I held for a number of years, and just want to introduce him to the commission.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Thank you, Josh.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Got a small presentation here.
You can help him out with that. Off and on button would be the only thing I could work.
Is there someone from MIS here?
Here comes-
I can't
he's
find
on
the
his-
mouse button.
Help's on the way. Somebody must have brought that brother.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you. All right, thanks for the opportunity today to come speak with you about state lakes. The new coordinator of the state fishing lake program. You're probably pretty familiar with it, with 20 state fishing lakes across the entire state. And we have a variety from 55 to 882 acres. And our goals are quality fishing experience with a clean and safe environment and access for bank and boat anglers. We have opportunities for skiing in many lakes, opportunity for kayaking. We have small ponds for bank fishing. We have, courtesy piers, earthen piers. Just try to offer as much opportunity as possible for the public to enjoy the outdoors. Our graph, state lake use and revenue since 2013 to 2023. We only have 6 months worth of data for 2023 for the fiscal year, so I didn't include it on this graph, but we've done pretty well. There's a dip in 2018, but COVID actually had a lot of usage, and 23 looks really well so far. July, we had a 16% increase year over year. August was a 10% increase year over year. The only month that was down was September, which was down just 1%. So overall, it looks really good. And I was afraid that we may have revenue going down with the gas prices, skyrocketing and inflation hitting people's pockets, but actually we've held strong. And I just threw a graph up for the half a year from July 2022 to December 23 for our fiscal year 23. Calling Panthers led because mostly from camping revenue. From the renovated campground, you get a lot of usage. Annual permits sold online. Everybody's using their phone and buying annuals online now. Mary Crawford and Neshoba. Mary Crawford recently was reopened last year, and you always see that big boom when you get a new lake opening. Neshoba renovated the campground there, so we got a lot of usage there as well. Some of the ones at the bottom, like Elvis Presley, you'll see that's one that's under renovation currently, so it's not getting any revenue. And our current lake renovations are Simpson County Lake, scheduled to reopen this year. Holmes County State Park Lake, which we got from State Parks, we're scheduled to open in 2024. And Elvis Presley Lake, which is scheduled to reopen in 2024. The current and upcoming projects are Simpson County Lake Campground. It's still ongoing. We fixed the pads there, redid some of the electrical work. Spillway repair at Lake Bogahoma. It's ongoing. We just got, we received the bids and gave it to a contractor, and he's just started his work last week. He just brought his rock and equipment out. We're just waiting for the rain to stop so the water can get below the spillway so he can start work on it. We just did a new restroom at Elvis Presley Lake that was completed in July of 22. Here's just a picture of Simpson County Lake. We were able to do that with in-house labor because we have a certified electrician on staff. We came in and dug and put in new 50-amp electrical at every pad and new electrical boxes, and we're working on the road and the pads right now. That's our big project at the moment, Bogahoma Lake, where it's quite a large spillway compared to some of our other ones. And you can see, not from this picture, but we had some of our concrete was messed up where it was sliding away, and it's about a $200,000 project, but we caught it early, so it didn't turn into a multi-million-dollar project.
Where's that lake located, John? Bogahoma, I'm not familiar with it.
Bogahoma?
Yes, sir.
It's located near Laurel.
Located where?
Just outside of Laurel.
Oh, okay, outside of Laurel.
Yes, sir.
Jones County.
Yes, sir, Jones County. And there's a picture of our Elvis Presley Lake restrooms. It was a huge upgrade from our old wooden restrooms. We had an old, just everything was dilapidated almost, and we were able to upgrade with a brand new, fully concrete structure. And just a quick overview of our lake record fish. These are really popular on social media. Anytime you put a big fish on Facebook, it's going to get a bunch of likes. So we really try to push that for people to say, hey, if you catch a big crappie at this lake, we keep records at each lake. So, you come in, we'll get you a certificate. This is our certificate. We hang one on the wall in the office, and then we send one to the angler, him or herself. And people really love that. We're trying to promote that a little more so people know, because if you don't talk to the lake manager, you don't know what's going on. And just looking at things I'm looking at as a new coordinator, we did the customer surveys many years ago, or I think it was about 2 years ago. And top recommendations were upgrade campgrounds, so that's on my list to everywhere. If we were able to upgrade to a 50 amp or anything we can do to help out to, increase revenue for us and offer more things for the public. A lot of our state lakes had camping pads that were very small. They're from like the 1970s, so you had a 20-foot camper, and now you have these 40-foot campers with 2 air conditioners and it's like a whole theater system in them. So it's changed a little bit over the years. Improve fishing and stockfish is, I mean, we're always trying to improve fish, and that's a no-brainer. Add upgrade playgrounds. Would like to do that at Holmes County Lake before we open, is get a new small playground there. And accept credit card and debit cards. We were actually able to do that with the new POS terminals. They're online at about 80% of the lakes right now, and they're still working to put fiber optic lines at some of the lakes. Challenges going forward that I see is just funding for large projects where, you know, we have a dam, a high hazard dam that takes a $6 million bond bill. And inflation, fuel prices, just got estimates on fertilizer last week, and they went up like 70% from last year. And just everything's going up, you know that, you know, eggs and gas and just anything you buy. And filling vacancies, but we've done pretty well with the new PERS system. We were able to increase our salary a little bit, so that should be able to help out there, getting some new talent in here. We got some people retiring in the state lake system pretty soon, but hopefully we can fill those pretty quickly. And any questions?
I'd like to go to a few more. We need to plan to, well, we're going to Clarko, but they got a lake. Is it a lake down there? Gotta be a lake. They got a waterfall, so there's bound to be some water.
I don't know.
We'll
but,
find out.
Well, we're gonna try to meet, this commission's gonna try to go all over the state
okay.
and meet at different locations, and while we do that, we obviously want to, if it's a state lake close by, we need to make sure we visit it.
Yes, sir. Come see us.
We did that when we went up to J.P. Coleman. We stopped all the way up through there, because Larry was with us, and he made sure that we saw all those stuff through there. And we found out who Lamar Bruce was, that nobody knew.
Oh, they'll tell you some history quick. All right. Well, thank y'all.
Thank you, Josh. Congratulations on your new promotion.
Thank you, sir.
Colonel Carter,
Yes, sir.
always a highlight.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, good morning.
Morning, Jerry.
All righty. Law Enforcement Bureau reports our report for this commission meeting for the month of January. There were a total of 2,057 citations issued. The top 5 being 192 for no license, 113 hunting from public road, 72 for trespassing, 70 for no hunter orange, and 64 citations issued on supplemental feeding. On the next page, this happened earlier this month. Our SRT members were requested by the Tate County for missing persons. Officers searched the property and were able to locate the subject, still alive, and used their training to stabilize the individual until medical personnel could arrive. This was an individual who was herding up his cattle, and I think one of the calves ran off and he got lost along the way, and our officers found him the next day. And you can see in the background how cold it was up there in North Mississippi during that time. I mean, it was totally freezing. Ice all on the trees, and they found him alive, and they rendered the medical attention and got him home safely. On the next page, it's a headlighting case made in Marion County. The arresting officer was Officer Pounds. Officer Pounds received a call about shots being fired, which resulted in the killing of 2 deers. Officer Pound waited on these individuals to come back to the location where the deer were shot and killed at. And during his waiting, the subjects did return. And once they had closed the trunk down and got back in the vehicle, he engaged in stopping the individuals. And sadly to say, these subjects, 3 of them were all 3 juveniles, so that did this act. But this case is now pending, and we'll provide you an update later on. The next page is a officer assisting with a successful youth hunt there at on Capaya WMA. Two of our officers, Officer Beard and Officer Chad Childs, they assisted with the biologists during that day and had a good turnout and good hunt with our youth. On our next page, officers conducted a compliance detail. Detail focused on waterfowl hunting there at on our WMAs and counties in the Delta. So good job to those guys getting those details together and making citations on these individuals that were not in compliance with our WMA rules. Our shooting range, our customer report from January 17th, 2023 to February the 5th, 2023, MacGyver had a total of 304 customers. Turcotte had a total of 408 customers. McHenry had a total of 340 customers. And at this time, Mr. Chairman, we have 3 individuals that are here for license reinstatement. I'll call these individuals by name. Once I call them, I ask them to come up and give their side of the incident, story of what actually happened. First individual is Mr. Garrett Beasley. This incident happened in November the 6th of 2021. Officer Lieutenant Blake Jones was the investigating officer. He received a call about a complaint of some dumping of deer carcasses, and then discovered later on there was a Snapchat posted there, and he conducted an interview on Mr. Beasley and another subject who's here also today, and got a confession, and I'll let the young man here give you the rest of the story.
It was after a football game, and I met up with 2 of my other buddies, and we went spotlighting in Rankin County. We shot a total of 5 deer, and about really all that happened. And then after we went and dumped them, and about a month later, Officer Jones came up on my front porch and knew I messed up pretty bad.
So he caught you a month after you actually shot the deer?
No, sir, he like confronted us about a month later.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
Did you clean the deer?
No, sir.
You just shot them and dumped them?
We cleaned one of them, and then it was like,
Too much trouble?
it wasn't too much trouble. It was just tired. Way too late at
What
night.
football game you talking about?
It was after one of my high school football games.
You play high school football?
Yes, sir. I graduated last year.
Oh, for Brandon?
No, sir. I graduated from Copiah. I was at my mama's house in Brandon. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Y'all shot 5 deer?
Yes, sir.
Did you spotlight them at night?
Yes, sir.
This is off of the roads in
Yes,
Rankin
sir.
County.
Yes, sir. Mainly off that cut-through road, right off Pavement Deal, going into Cornerstone neighborhood.
Cornerstones that used in the city of Brandon also.
Yes, sir. It was mainly just that, it was like that new cut-through road going through, like right through Cornerstone.
Did you kill them
Yes, sir.
instantly? One shot apiece?
Yes, sir.
What was your fine, your penalties, how much did you have to pay for all these?
2,500 and a year without my license. Yes, sir.
What about your firearm?
We used a 22.
A 22?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm sure they got that confiscated, you won't get that back, or did you?
I don't know if they took the dude's gun or not. So, yes, sir.
But it wasn't your gun?
No, sir.
Well, the safety thing, I mean, shooting deer at night is ridiculous.
Yes,
There's
sir.
so many deer out there you can see in the daytime, but
Yes, sir.
the safety of it, you don't know what's behind that deer.
Yes, sir.
Maybe somebody else is out there shot a deer and they're trying to find that deer. Now, what if you're shooting at a deer and hit a person?
Yes, sir.
I
Be
mean, it's
good.
just, what if you shoot somebody's cow? What if you shoot somebody's horse?
Yes, sir.
You don't know what's going on at night.
Yes, sir.
So that's the main thing, is the safety issue.
Yes, sir.
Other than the fact that it's.
That's a subdivision.
It's just
Yes,
no.
Yes, sir.
It's a subdivision.
It was-
Homes all that.
It was like going like back. It's like a It's just a cut through road, like by like we weren't like actually in the subdivision shooting. Like it was like a road, just like a straightaway. Go to like intervenes like highway like 471. Yes, sir.
So tell me, they didn't catch you that night, so evidently somebody made a complaint about you shooting?
No, sir.
Snapchat.
It was Snapchat post.
Oh,
on our-
you got
yes,
on
sir.
and advertised that you shot 5 deer.
Yes, sir.
That's how the police catch most people.
Yes, sir.
They sit up there, do
Yes,
all this with their dope pile and all that.
Yes, sir.
What, did y'all do all that with your 5 deer lined up?
No, sir. It was a post at like 12. It was like 1:30 in the morning. We just posted a deer on our store.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
What'd you learn from it?
That hunting's a privilege. It's not right, and you'll never see me here again, and it just won't happen again.
You took your hunter's ed again?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you regret doing it?
Oh, 100%, without a doubt. I wouldn't be here right now if I didn't.
Colonel Carter, what do you,
Yes, sir.
what's y'all's recommendation?
We recommend that we reinstate. He's met all the requirements set forth, so we recommend we reinstate him.
He satisfied the court?
He said, yes, sir. He satisfied the court and
Okay.
everything. Yes, sir.
Well, what's the feeling of the commission?
One more question.
Go ahead.
You shot 5 deer. You didn't eat them. You just discharged. I'll just stop the question. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I can't understand shooting 5 deer if you're not gonna eat them.
Well, I can't either.
For 20 days.
That's well, what do y'all wanna do? I mean, I can't make the motion. Do y'all wanna reinstate him, or you wanna, if you, I guarantee you, I've been on this for 9 years, and that's as bad as I ever heard. I'm at 5 deer. Most people only, maybe 1 or something, but, and then not to dress the deer.
Well, the next person's part of it with him, so we hear from him too. Do you want to hear from him first and then decide, or? Why don't we hear from Peyton next?
Who's it, who?
We'll just hold off for a second, and we'll let the chief bring Peyton
How
Dooley.
about Peyton Dooley? He was with him? You wanna do that, chief?
Yes, sir, we can.
Just hold up. You can go sit back down, Beasley. You look like a football player too.
Yes, sir, I am.
What positions y'all play?
I played center, pretty much.
What did he play?
He played a different school than I did, so.
Oh, okay.
I think he played linebacker.
Okay.
I
Go ahead and tell us what y'all, dumb thing y'all did.
Well, yes, sir, I think it was roughly the 3rd week of October after one of my high school football games. Me, Mr. Beasley, and another friend of ours all loaded up into my truck. And we proceeded to ride around Rankin County, and we spotlighted 5 deer that night in various areas of, around Chicken Bridge Road. That early that next morning, we got up and we ended up cleaning one of the deer, and the other 4 were smelling pretty rough, so we figured they probably weren't any good anymore. And we went and dumped them on the cut-through road next to Cornerstone, and a Facebook post was made about the deer, and they were found. They called Lieutenant Jones out, and roughly about 3 or 4 weeks after that, Lieutenant Jones come to our house and did some questioning, and we all kind of told him what happened, and we ended up getting several tickets, and we ended up having court, I believe February 8th. I had my rifle and my bow confiscated, and then we were all convicted on February 8th.
Now, how much was your fine?
$2,500 and no year hunting license.
You get on the chat, on the talking deal too?
I wasn't the one that posted it, but I was involved with it. Yes, sir.
So what can you add to the story that, any other aspects of it? Or,
Well, there's not really anything you can say to make it seem any better than it was, because it wasn't good at all. But he pretty much broke down to the point that we rode around and shot several deer that night and discarded 4 of them that next morning.
you're in high school,
Yes, sir.
and so I guess you rode around and shot them, left them back of the truck, intended to clean them, and
Yes, sir.
you cleaned one, and you realized you let them, I guess it was too hot or something.
It was about 85 degrees that night. It was a pretty warm day.
Yeah,
We did clean out one of them, but the other 4 were pretty much ruined.
probably, because it's so hot, and it's.
Yes, sir.
It's October, so it's.
Yes, sir.
Bow season,
Yes, sir.
whatever. See, I was just spotlighting.
Where's the third person? Is he in? Beat his
He's out
fine?
on oil rig right now, wasn't able to make it. He's in Texas.
Do you know whether he's paid his fine and taken his hunters in too?
I don't know if he's done his hunters yet, but I know all three of us have paid our fines. I believe he's done his though.
So y'all were friends?
Yes, sir.
Y'all were connected or whatever?
Yes,
friends?
sir.
Well, so what have you learned anything else you learned from it in addition to what he said? Or?
Hunting very much can be taken away a lot faster than you realize. Make you miss it, enjoy it a lot more than you realize, not having it for a year. It was stupid, to say the least. That's the best way to sum it up, it was stupid. And I couldn't believe it. Somebody could have definitely gotten hurt. Don't plan on it ever happening again, I promise you that much.
Yeah. Other aspect is what's known as fair chase.
Yes,
Fair
sir.
chase concept of hunting, and where the animal has the ability to evade and escape, and
Yes, sir.
it's a fair game, more or less. And obviously,
You do it at night, you completely take away.
humans have rifles, so, I mean, it's not
Yes,
always
sir.
totally fair, but at least, you know, animals have their senses at night. Deer are very vulnerable, because their senses are down, their eyes, well, obviously you shot them with a .22 at short range,
Yes, sir.
right? 'Cause they just stood at the side of the road and you shot them.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That's the other thing, we hope that people take that into account, that it's a sport,
Yes,
it's a
sir.
privilege, and you should enjoy another part of what Commissioner Rhodes said is, part of fair chase is that you do it responsibly. If you take something, you're gonna harvest it and use it, the meat, whatever, it's so good. Currently, any other recommendations, or you recommend reinstatement?
Well, reinstatement, yes, sir. He's met all the requirements, of completing the process, that we recommend reinstatement.
Well, sound like the commission is not, doesn't want to reinstate,
Well,
but we gotta
no.
make a decision one way or the other. I think they've learned their lesson. I certainly would hope they have. But killing 5 deer with a .22 rifle at night in the city limits of Brandon is just, I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I've been on here a long time, and to me, that's the worst I've heard. And we didn't know about these prior to the meeting. We knew we were gonna have to have y'all come before us, but we hadn't heard the stories.
Yes, sir.
So, but I will entertain a motion to reinstate. Gonna do them both at the same time, or? Yeah.
If we can, it's proper. One thing I'll move that we reinstate you, but I'd ask that you guys try to get the word out of what you've learned.
Yes, sir.
Rather, you guys were in high school, high school kids, we all did stupid things, we were in high school. I certainly did. But it obviously is something that, y'all understand the seriousness of it, from endangering a human life and others possibly, what you did.
Yes, sir.
And so I'll recommend they reinstate both Peyton Dooley and Garrett Beasley.
Garrett Beasley and Peyton Dooley the motion's been made. Is there a second?
I'll second it, but I do want to say, congratulations to the officer, because he come and contacted you a month later.
He contacted us several times. I wanna say the first time he contacted us was about 2 weeks afterwards, but we finally got issued our citations about a month later.
But, it would have been, if he didn't have his whole heart and soul into it, it'd been very easy to just turn nothing over.
Yes,
So,
sir.
well, we couldn't find him, but I don't know who the gentleman was, Jones.
I
was it?
know Blake Jones, I know. May have him come in and talk to us. Well, yes, we appreciate, if you guys want to get your licenses and get reinstated, we hope that you've learned a lesson.
And gonna put something on Facebook, tell them what you had to go through to get them.
Yes, sir.
And maybe somebody else will say, I don't think I want to hunt at night.
We need a vote. So
Motion and a
made and
second.
seconded.
Motion has been made and a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Been reinstated.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank both of y'all.
Next, Mr. Chairman, we have Mr. Colton Frith. This incident happened November the 15th, 2021. The arresting officer in Smith County, arresting officer was Officer Heath Hulon. Officer received a call of shots being fired. The individual was stopped by the deputy sheriff in that county. Vehicle stop was made at a church, in front of a church. Officer was en route, and on his discovery, discovered that the subject had illegally killed 2 deers, that being a doe and a buck. So Mr. Frith is here to tell his story.
Colonel, the next person coming was with him?
He's here, but he has not completed the process.
So Alan Sullivan's not?
No, sir, he is here, but he has not completed the
Okay.
process of reinstatement.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Mr. Frith.
Yes, sir. We was at AutoZone in McGee, Mississippi, and we was sitting there, and me and Alan was together, and we was sitting there, and then we left AutoZone, went to Love's Truck Stop, sitting there, and Adam Covington pulled up. He went in the store. He was underage. They sold him beer. He bought the beer, and then he come back, and we was sitting at AutoZone parking lot. We pulled back up. We was sitting there, and he kept on bribing us, calling us names, and well, we got tired of him calling us names. Well, then we just gave in to him. Then we left, rode some couple back roads. I don't remember what back roads. Ended up on County Road 64 in Smith County. We was riding through there, was shining the light. Alan was driving, I had the gun, and Adam was shining the light that's in back of the seat, of the truck. We seen the deer. I shot the deer with a .35 Wheeling, and me and Adam got out, went and got the deer. While Alan turned around, come back, loaded in back of the truck. We went out, down County Road 64. We turned right on 503, and the deputy sheriff blue lighted us right there in front of the Shady Grove. I don't remember what church it was, to be exact, but he blue lighted us right there in front of the church. And I have paid my $2,616 fine through the Smith County Justice Courts, and I have learned my lesson 100%, and I will promise you that you will never see me here again. And I highly am disappointed my father, being that he holds the Mississippi State record turkey.
Holds the state record for what?
Turkey.
Turkey.
Oh, good. I'm gonna bet well, obviously nobody would have been proud of what you did. And you sound like you learned your lesson.
Yes, sir.
And, but it's just, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's so many deer in the daytime.
Yes, sir.
I mean, we got thousands of them.
I had 1 year, no nothing hunting.
Yeah.
And I can assure you, it really hurt me, being that we probably own 23, 24 hunting dogs. And I was not able to hunt, not able to put a collar on a dog, load a dog in the dog box at the house, nothing. It was highly killing me.
But you brought it on yourself.
I sure did.
By doing something
100% brought it on myself.
That's correct. What about it, Colonel? Did that pretty well cover what he did? He gave a pretty good description of what they did.
Yes, sir.
I still don't understand you said you got in a fight in the parking lot before it started?
No, sir. We was all sitting there talking. What it is a bunch of buddies and all. We all just gather up at AutoZone, and we just sit there and talk and laugh and joke and all that.
Okay, then y'all start out on your mission.
Yes, sir. After he started calling us names, he called us some pretty bad names, you know.
Well, who was doing all that bad? I mean, that's the part I don't mean. That don't sound like a buddy to me.
No, sir. I pushed him. You find out who your real friends are, 100%. I pushed him away, and I also got told this was like his 3rd time of doing this. But he called us some pretty bad names, some names that started with the P word, and some pretty bad names.
He was saying, you better come do this with me or else you're not.
Yes, sir.
Not a, whatever.
Yes, sir.
I got you. Okay. All right, well, I'll recommend reinstating. I'll move to reinstate.
Is there a second?
Colton.
We was also able to get the gun back, and they did not take my truck because it was in my father's name. It was not in my name.
You were able to get your gun back?
Yes, sir.
Wasn't his gun, it was,
Not his gun.
wasn't his, has to be in the person's name.
Oh,
It was
okay.
also in my father's name.
Okay.
But he just gave it to me for a Christmas present.
I don't imagine you were real popular around the house for a while, were you?
No, sir. My father told, he told the law if they would take the handcuffs off, that he would whoop my butt right there. He was highly bad.
I would imagine so. All right, we've had a motion to reinstate his thing. Is there a second? I need a second.
I'll make a second. I'm not dying to do it, but I'll make a second.
All right, motion been made, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. You've been reinstated.
Yes, sir.
Let me say in closing, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I'd like to say kudos to my officers throughout the state for the law enforcement efforts that they did, bringing violators such as these young men and others for the action they've done and the work that they put in day and night. And also, we'd like to thank the general public, landowners, and everybody that has
You know what?
called 1-800-BE-SMART and even called the officers personally to come out and answer to these calls. So I'd like to thank the general public as well.
Without exception, every one of these we've ever had, well, maybe we had people sitting there.
Yes, sir.
The one called in, shots fired.
That's correct.
Shots fired.
Yes, sir.
I know up in where I live, they get them all, and they get out there, and they find them. They don't find them all,
Yes,
but
sir.
they find most of them. And these young men here, I mean, that could ruin their lives. They know they did wrong.
That's correct.
The safety part's what it was, man.
That's right.
You, that.
That's my report. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Oh, he hadn't quit, he
Mr. Posey, any other business?
Yes, sir, we do need to go into executive session.
All right.
There's nothing under other business. Other than that.
I need a motion to go into executive
Make
session.
a motion to
Second.
return if we need to go on such.
Right. It's a motion to make the determination to go into executive session. I got a motion, I got a second. Vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
The commission has voted to make the determination to go into executive session. The meeting is now closed.